This is my portfolio, basically showing it because I was unable to find something that was either costume or corset related, and there are a few courses available now that you can apply for. The one I've just got onto is called Production Arts brackets costume. Within that you can specialise, so you can specialise in millinery or in historical costume. I've obviously gone for corsetry. This is the portfolio I took with me. I don't know whether or not it's particularly good or whether or not it was just enough to get me in, but thought I'd show you. Most of the images are on my blog anyway, just my reasoning. First page is the blue corset. I've just got some new pictures of. This is just trying to get a close-up here of the script around it, and I've explained that that's got the hand-painted text around it. After that I've got this one, which is quite a basic overbust, but it's nicely made and it's a nice picture of it, so it's quite a striking start to the portfolio. Don't know how many of you know or use Foundations Revealed, but I've got this picture which is a close-up of some swing hooks. I also wrote an article, it was in probably 2009 or 2010, about how to put swing hooks in, because there was nothing on doing that at that point. I think I'm still the only article on it that I've seen, so I've put that in there. So then I've got a picture of a corset I made. It's actually sort of purple and black lace with then silver swing hooks on the front. Moving on from that, my reasoning of putting it in next was that it was the same colour scheme. It's purple and black. It's an 1880s corset from the Symington collection that I remade. So that's showing that I can do historical replicas. Quite a basic underbust next, but I like the shape of it, so I've put that one in. And it also links to this one here. You can't really see, I don't think, let me see if I can zoom in at all. It's basically ecclesiastical brocade, so it's got crosses on it. And I made this one from the same, but it's got hasps down the front, so it's a logical progression from the swing hooks, in that it's showing that I was at that point in time experimenting with different front fastenings for corsets, and although the swing hooks are the ones that have taken off a lot and the people now use them, I was using other things as well. And that one is one that the person who was interviewing me picked up on, that they quite liked the fact I had been experimenting with stuff. After that, these two are quite basic. It's a basic overbust here, which is from sort of metallic purple fabric, so you can't really see it very well in this light. And then another one is purple velvet. Now they've both, you can see on this one's just a plain underburst, got frog fastenings down the front. You can probably see here if I zoom in a little bit more that this one also has them. So I've shown that I'm able to use a decorative technique on different things, and I like, again, messing around with how to do the fronts of corsets. This one I've put in, it's a black underburst. It's kind of a Merry Widow style with suspenders, because of the fact that I quite liked that style, and I've got a couple of others made from the same pattern, so it kind of links with them. Again, suspenders are probably not what I would class as a decorative technique, but to people who are looking through a portfolio, they're something extra to just a plain corset. This is another one with swing hooks, but I've actually put it in because it's got quite visible external boning channels. I have used them in other corsets in the portfolio, but these ones stand out. Another one with the swing hooks, but I've put that in because it shows flossing quite nicely. And then I've got this one, underbust, quite plain, but it's got rhinestones down all of the boning channels, which took absolutely hours to do. Again, just to show that I'm able to do that as a technique. Moving on, I've got this. This is a double page spread. You can see here Asylum 1, Asylum 2, which I've put in to try and show that I'm able to work to a theme and produce different things that fit the brief. So they're all cream with sort of tan leather. This one I've made a cage crinoline, I made the bloomers, and I made an underbust corset. It is a historical pattern, it's an 1860s pattern. It's unusual, yes. I had a few people at the time basically saying that it wasn't historically accurate, but it was an 1860s pattern. So I've included that as part of my sort of period costume work. And then this one, which I've made another corset from. Again, it shows the hasps on the front. Also suspenders, overburst, and it's quite a nice shape. These two are quite sort of basic. Just an overburst and an underburst, but it's able to show that my work has progressed, and they are quite nicely made. They're just not very technically advanced. I've got this here because it has, I don't know if you can see very well, but a very nice sort of draped skirt that I made. It's not a historical pattern, but it's closer in style to 1870s than anything else. It's sort of quite large, like it would have a crinoline underneath, but it is draped. And also the corset, single layer, tapered busk, and eyelets and suspenders on it, and it's a nice shape. Single layer of coutil, again, is something that I hadn't had in here before, so showing I'm able to make them with that. Quite a plain underburst, but it's leather, a material which I haven't used anywhere else in here. And also one here with some sort of lace and stuff, which I've given details of all of the features of. Moving on from that, I wanted to show that I'm able to, again, work to a brief in a bit more detail than the Asylum one. So, if you've read my blog, you'll be aware of this collection. I decided to include my Tolkien collection. This is just a little thing explaining, I made the metallic blue corset, which was the first one in the portfolio, with the Tengwar script on it, and then decided I was going to make corsets for all of the elves in Tolkien's work. So I've got another picture of this one, which is a bit more decorative, just because it doesn't need to show the features, it's just showing the corset. And then I moved on to Luthien, which is the first one I made. I've posted about Luthien before, and there's a picture of that. And then my new one, which I haven't posted on my blog yet, Arathel, which closes between the legs. Again, this is something which has swing hooks on the front, it has embroidered work, it has appliques, and it closes between the legs, which is something that I haven't got anywhere else in the portfolio. And is another thing which impressed people. They were able to see that I was able to draft patterns other than just standard ones. Again, I moved on. It's not finished, but I put the cupped corset in that I'm working on to show that I'm able to do that and that I'm willing to experiment with new techniques. Pictures of this one, just because it's quite nicely made. And again, showing the insides of my corsets. I was able to take samples, but if I wasn't, they'd be able to see my work that way. Just a simple busk to show I can do that. I hadn't got any other close-ups of that, and I had of the swing hooks. Then moved on to sketches. This again is sort of concept work, so it's all to do with one project I'm working on, right from the initial ideas I had through to the final design piece, including some of the materials I've used in it. And I will be showing you pictures of this in a couple of weeks' time finished off, but I don't want to ruin the surprise for the Garter Lounge costume. And then I've got here a picture of sort of the first corset I made from the pattern I'm going to be using, and then another one from the same pattern but with slight alterations to the waist. Some sketches I've done of what I want the corset to look like. It's got fan lacing on and flossing. Then I've shown the flossing diagram that inspired that. And then, I don't know if you can see, it's yellow or white. I've included the sample, and then also some of the sort of flossing ideas I had. I've then got, again from my blog, a picture of how I'm able to pattern for a corset from something that I already have seen. And then some sketches of silhouettes from 1860, I think, through to the 1900s. Something I've got with a decorative front. This has got lace, it's got 3D detailing, and it's got flossing. A sketch I've done based on something I've seen, and then some information about my Wedding-esque project, again showing I'm able to work sort of in a costume design environment. Information about Illyria, including fabric samples, pattern samples. Again, it's going to close between the legs, so it's good that I've got an example of the fact I can do that earlier on. And then my sketches for Drusilla, which are then sort of upside down on the next page, but you get the idea. Lastly, I've got this, which is a 1910s corset. Told you I'd made one before a while back when it was the Foundations Reveal competition. I can make them, they're just not really my style. I like things with a lot more curves. And then this, which is sort of a film noir-y type one. Again, it was for the 1912 competition. This one I've put in, it's got external bony channels. It's a bit plain, but these are just the last couple of pages of stuff for, you know, just extra pictures I had room for. More pictures of one of my 1912 corsets with lots of hand details of lace, Swarovski crystals, etc. A better picture of the leather one, and a better picture of the 1880s one. So hopefully you can see I've tried, although it is all corsets, it is a variety of different things. I've tried to put things in some form of logical order. I've also tried to sort of link things together, so so for instance I got the two Asylum ones together, I've got the Tolkien ones together. I've tried to put things near each other so that it flows through, so it's got like the swing hooks, and then that goes into decorative fastenings and decorative techniques. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the sort of stuff you should be including in your portfolio if you're looking to put one together, and was of some use to some people.